Today, about 10,400 new Memecoins will be created. By this time tomorrow, 9,900 of them will be dead. Not scams necessarily, not rug pulls. Just over. No buyers, no sellers, no chart. That is not a bad week. That is every single day, and once you understand why, you will never look at a launch the same way again. One thing first, because this is not the scam video. We already did that one. The 7 patterns, the hidden code, the liquidity drain. This is different, and in a way it is worse. Today we are looking at the Memecoins, where nobody does anything illegal at all, and the ordinary buyer still loses, because the losing is not a betrayal. It is built into the machine. Start with the machine itself. Almost every Memecoin now launches on something called a bonding curve, and it is simpler than it sounds. There is no order book, no one setting a price. Instead, there's a formula. The more tokens have been bought, the higher the price of the next one, automatically. That solves a real problem, and a brand new token has no buyers and no sellers, so there is nothing to set a price. The curve gives it 1 from the first second. But look at what that formula actually does. Watch the price as tokens get bought. Early on, it barely moves. Then it climbs. Then it gets steep. Every single purchase pushes the price up for everyone who comes after. So the person who buys first pays the lowest price that will ever exist. And the person who buys after the chart is already interesting. After it looks like something is happening, pays many times more for exactly the same token. That is not unfair. It is the design working as intended. But you need to see it clearly, because everything else follows from it. Which raises the obvious question. If being early is the whole game, who is early? Not you. Not because you are slow, because you are human. The moment a token goes live, it is visible on the blockchain. And there are programs watching for exactly that, running on servers next to the network, that can buy in the very same block the token is created. Not the same minute. The same block. So here's what the first 2 minutes of a launch actually look like. Block 0, automated bots buy. At the bottom of the curve. A couple of seconds later, more bots competing with each other, front-running the first human orders that arrive. 30 seconds in. Somebody posts a screenshot on social media. The chart is already up 40 times. 2 minutes in, you see it. You buy. And what you have just done, in the language of the people on the other side, is provide exit liquidity. You are the reason they can sell. Quick check, and this one is worth pausing on. On a bonding curve, who decides the price? The creator of the token, the exchange, or nobody. It is a formula. Have a think. It is the formula. And that is exactly why people trust it. It feels neutral, and technically it is. The rules are the same for everyone, but identical rules do not mean an equal race. A bot and a human playing by the same rules is still a bot beating a human. Now, most Memecoins never even get that far. There's a threshold. If enough is bought on the curve, the token graduates, the collected money becomes a real liquidity pool on a proper exchange, and it trades like anything else. That is the goal every launch is aiming at. Between 1 and 2% of them make it. Let me put the whole thing in one picture. Out of every 10,400 launches in a day, 69% record their last trade on the day they were created. Not the first week, the first day. 4.5% are still being traded 90 days later. 1 to 2% ever reach a real exchange. The average lifespan of one of these tokens is 12 days. Those numbers come from an analysis of over 18 million launches. And surviving is not the same as being worth anything. Of the tokens that do launch on a curve, more than 80% lose over 90% of their value within about a week. Usually right after the curve phase ends, which is exactly the moment the earliest holders can finally get out at a good price. So even the survivors mostly go down. Surviving means there is still a chart. It does not mean there is still value. Here's the uncomfortable part, and it is the reason this video exists. Nothing I have just described requires anyone to cheat. No hidden code, no fake team, no stolen liquidity. The contract can be completely clean, the creator can be completely honest, and the outcome is still the same, because the structure decides it. Early beats late, automated beats human. And there are far more late humans than early bots. A rug pull is someone breaking the rules. This is the rules working. So who does make money? 3 groups, reliably. The platform which takes a fee on every single trade, whether the token lives or dies. 10,000 launches a day is 10,000 streams of fees. The bots, which are early by construction. And the creator, if they kept an allocation, which is legal and extremely common. Notice who is not on that list. The person who found it on social media. If you still want to be in this market, and that is your decision, not mine, 3 things at minimum. Assume you are late. If you can see it, you are not early. Price your expectations accordingly. Check who holds it before you buy, exactly the way we did 2 lessons ago. If a handful of wallets hold most of the supply, you already know how this ends, and size it as money you are prepared to lose completely. Not as an investment that might go down a bit. The base rate here is not a crash. It is 0. So, a bonding curve prices a token automatically, and it makes early strictly better than late. Bots are early by construction, and you are not. 69% die on day 1, 95% do not see day 90, and 1 to 2% ever reach a real exchange. The fees flow regardless, and none of that needs a single dishonest person in the chain. If this was useful, the lesson on reading holder data before you buy is the practical companion to this one. It is linked below. Subscribe if you want the rest of the series. Thanks for watching, and stay careful out there.